Hot 103 Jamz, Kansas City's big station, #1 for hip hop and R&B. In studio with me today, the president, founder of the National Action Network. We welcome the Rev Al Sharpton to the Hot 103 Jamz studios. How you doing, sir?
Fine. How you doing?
What brings you to Kansas City?
Well, we're doing in National Action Network a nationwide voter registration and voter protection tour. We have been all over North Carolina, all over Pennsylvania. Now we're doing Kansas City. I'm leaving here doing the Washington, D.C. area. We are registering voters, and we're taking names to check for people that have been registered in the past to make sure their name is still on the ballot. It is important when we look at the data that you have some cities, African Americans, 31% unregistered. Kansas City is in the late 20s, about 28% unregistered. These votes will make the difference in November. And we must register people. We can't have a record turnout unless we have record registration.
Now, you talk about how important it is. Missouri is a very important state for this coming election. How important is it for you not to only get out and register, but to vote?
It's vital. I mean, we can get angry all we want about the economic conditions. We can be as angry as we want about the war in Iraq. We can be as angry as we want about how unfair the criminal justice system is, and people like me are marching and dealing with that all the time. But if you don't vote about it, the same policies that you and I are angry about will remain in place. They're betting on us getting excited and then not showing up to vote, getting excited and not registering, or registered and not coming back, or not checking on our registration. We at least have to be smarter than that. That's why I call it the Not This Time campaign. In 2000, they robbed us in Florida,
okay,
but not this time. In Ohio, they robbed us in 2004, but not this time. This time, we've got to get it right.
Now, you talk about 2004. For those who may have forgotten, you ran for the president of the United States back in 2004.
Right.
With it being 4 years later, are we now ready for a black president?
I think that we get ready by organizing, mobilizing. I think Senator Obama has, personally, I support him unequivocally, though the registration drive is nonpartisan. But personally, I don't think we could have a better candidate, and I think the time has come for us to put the right person in the White House. And I don't support him just because he's black. I support him because he happens to be right. If he was black and wrong, I would not support him.
Now, you got started in civil rights at a very early age with the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Have we progressed from Dr. Martin Luther King until now?
I think we have. I think clearly Martin Luther King, who was before my time, brought us to a point of ending segregation. I grew up under Reverend Jackson, who really helped us to protect that and move into the political arena. In our time, we've had to protect what both those generations did before us. And I think that our time, we must maintain and preserve the laws King fought for. We must expand the area that the generation of Jackson had done and now achieve real power for all Americans. So I think every generation has to make its contribution.
Now, you were at the Democratic Convention a month ago. Take us back there just for a brief moment on this historic moment, especially when Senator Barack Obama accepted the nominated bid for president.
Well, it was a great day. First of all, it was the exact 45th anniversary of the historic March on Washington, where Martin Luther King had talked about the dream he had. And that morning, we had a commemoration breakfast where Martin Luther King III and Bernice King, Dr. King's two children, and I keynoted. We started the day, the Democratic Convention officially recognizing the march and having that breakfast. We ended the day with 80,000 people in the stadium.
Wow.
To hear Barack Obama's speech. And as I stood in that stadium and watched blacks and whites and Latinos and Asians and women and men and rich and poor stand there and certify a person of color as the Democratic nominee, first time in the history of this country a person of color became a candidate for one of the two major parties, then I knew that everything we're fighting for today could be achieved, because 45 years ago, that day, Martin Luther King said that he dreamed of the day his children would be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Well, I was standing there with his children as the man had won the nomination based on the content of his character, not the color of his skin. So if that dream could be realized, and it was, our dreams can be realized if we just are as diligent and disciplined as Dr. King was.
Let me take you back there just for a second. You talk about what Dr. Martin Luther King's dream was. They showed on YouTube a few months ago about Bobby Kennedy having this same type of dream. 40 years later, it has come to fruition.
Bobby Kennedy talked about a black could be president 40 years. Martin Luther King talked about the content of character. You know, it's not enough to hang Dr. King's picture and the Kennedy's picture on the wall if you're not going to do what they said. Most of us, I go to African-American churches and homes, everybody has a picture of Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, but they don't act like either one of them. They act more like Buckwheat. We should hang up Buckwheat's picture. If you're not registered to vote, take down Dr. King, put up Buckwheat in your living room.
You have a syndicated radio talk show called Keeping It Real, and your mentor, someone very close to you, Jamz Brown, the Godfather of Soul, on his deathbed, as he passed away, he urged you to get involved in cleaning up today's music. What would you say to today's artists in keeping it real in their music?
Well, what I would say to them is don't lose your art form, don't lose your commercial ability, but don't use your platform, your celebrity, to just degrade your women and your own. Some of them tell me, well, Rev Al, we can say what we want to say. We don't agree with you because I say we shouldn't use the N word or the B word or the H word. We say what we want to say. Well, you don't say what you want to say. Record companies don't let you say things against other races. They don't let you say things, and they shouldn't let you say things against other races. They'll let you say things against homosexuals, and they shouldn't. You know who you can say something against.
Right.
So all of that roughneck stuff is a bunch of crap. You rough with us. You ain't rough with everybody else. And the other thing is, they like to attack guys like me, but they're never there when we need them. Where was the roughneck hip-hop artists in Gina, Louisiana? Where were they for Troy Davis this weekend to be executed? So they've sailed the streets. Some of us are in the streets doing the work. I tell them, let's get real about it.
Last but not least, sir, will Senator Barack Obama become the first black president of the United States?
If we vote, if we register and show up, yes. If he doesn't, it's because we didn't show up, not because he didn't do what he was supposed to do.
The Rev Al Sharpton, president and founder of the National Action Network. Very much appreciate it, sir.
Thank you so
very
much.
sir.
Thank you all here. Great station.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.